habits. So today is very much moving to stillness because people who are institutionalised, A, tend to become very stiff and they don't have a lot of body awareness, often through drugs, toxins, and trying to have an inner mental stillness as well is very, very difficult for them. So it's not entirely, there will be bits that are different. So just come to standing and lift and roll your shoulders. So Tadasana or Samastiti, equal awareness, equal weight on both feet, and also have an awareness of coming slightly forward onto the toes and then slightly back onto the heels, and find your middle spot. You're totally balanced. And your feet can be together or they can be a little bit apart. Wherever you find that you've got the most balance. And then just lift and roll one shoulder back. And then lift and roll the other shoulder back. And breathing in, turn the head to the left. And breathing out, turn the head to the right. And now in your own breath pattern, into the left. And out to the right. And then come back to the centre. And once more, lift and roll one shoulder, and lift and roll the other shoulder. And then breathing in, circle the arms up. If you're stiff in your shoulders, then only go to where it works for you. And just slightly go from side to side. And then come to the centre and lower the hands. Lift and roll the shoulders once more. Place one hand on the navel and one hand behind you. You might want the back of the palm facing to your back. Lift your body up and then breathing out. Keep hips facing forward and turn to your left. Taking an in and an out breath. And then come into the centre. Drop your hands. Lift and roll the shoulders again, and then come to place the other hand. So perhaps your right hand at the navel and your left hand at the navel, your right hand behind you, and turn to look over your right shoulder. And then coming back to the centre and release the hands. Lift and roll the shoulders and clasp your hands behind your back, opening up the shoulders and lung meridians. Very uplifting for the mood because this is essentially a back bend. And then very gently lift the hands away from you. That can be quite a strong movement. And turn slightly to the left. Come to the centre and turn slightly to the right. And then come to the centre. Release the hands and then circle the wrists up. We will create our own sun today, and then circle the wrists in the opposite direction as you come down. And then open and close the fingers. Arthritis in the joints is another area that arthritis can settle, or you can have stiffness. And then just gently pull the thumb of one hand, second finger, third, fourth and little finger, and shake that hand out. And then change hands that you're just pulling your fingers. If anywhere feels stiff, you can linger on that finger and just turn the thumb or turn the finger and just massage down in between, particularly if you've got little lumps and bumps and various things that need sorting out. And then just lift and roll your shoulders. And then a couple of half salutes to the sun, hands together at the heart centre. Soften the knees as you circle the arms up, and if you're stiff in the shoulders, don't just keep your elbows bent. Palms together, come through the centre, bend your knees, and come to place your hands on the shins. Breathing in Lengthen the back, half lift. Breathing out, soften in. Breathing in, half lift. And stay here as you breathe out. And then breathing in, soften the knees and press the feet down, rolling up vertebra by vertebra to standing. And breathing in, raise the right arm, turn the head to the left. Take an in and an out breath here. And bring the head back to the centre. Breathing out, lower the right arm. And then snake the left arm up. Breathing out, turn the head to the right, away from the left arm. Stay here for an in and an out breath. And then breathing in, bring the head back to the centre. And in your own time, as you breathe out, lower the left arm. And then lift and roll the shoulders again. Open the arms out to the side. And hug yourself, softening your knees. And chin to chest. Just rock slightly from side to side. So this is in a way opening your shoulders, but in a slightly different way. Opening the upper back as well. Remember which hand's on top, because we're going to stand up, open the arms again, and swap over. The other arm goes on top. Soften the knees, and then just chin to chest. Hug going from side to side. And then releasing as you lift and stand. Lifting and rolling the shoulders. And hands a little bit further, feet a little bit further apart. Bring the hands up. Open out to the side, opening under the arms, and then really soften the knees. Bend the elbows in as you roll down. And clasp your elbows. Once you're down, you can stay with your knees bent, or if you're able to, lengthen your legs so that the sit bones are up to the ceiling. Then do that. If that's too much, then just go back to bending your legs. And feel that you're leading from your chest so that your body is slightly away from you. And then just release and relax down. Just take an in and an out breath here. Again, it's hard to think of very much when you're in this position, but then the other side is you might not want to stay here for too long. Soften the knees, press the feet down, release the hands, and use your hands maybe to guide you up to standing, vertebra by vertebra. And then we come to standing, lift and roll the shoulders. And then hands on the waist. And just begin to circle the hips in one direction, or hula hoop your hips. So this moves a lot of stagnant energy in the lower abdominal area. Your hips can sway a little bit, or they can sway a lot. And then very gently sway your hips in the opposite direction. So this is one of the opening sequences of belly dancing, but it does give huge fluidity to the hips area. It's another way of looking at the hips, or the hip movement, slightly different, perhaps from normal. And then come to the centre and just drop your hands. Lift and roll your shoulders again. And then just move your position. Maybe your feet stay apart, maybe they come in a little bit closer. Just be comfortable. Drop your chin to the chest. And then move your chin up towards one shoulder. I'm going to my right, it doesn't matter. Looking over one shoulder. Drop your chin to the chest again, and then carry on like a half pendulum going up to the other shoulder. And just a couple of times in your own breath pattern, dropping the chin to the chest and tracing a semicircle, tracing a pendulum movement up to the shoulder. You can stay here for a breath in and out if you want to. And then just dropping the chin to the chest, to the other side. And then again, once more in your own timing. And very gently and gradually come back to the centre. And once more, as you breathe in, turn the head to the left. You can stay here for a breath, or bring the head back to the centre when you're ready, and breathing out, turn your head to the right. So this becomes a mindfulness movement. It's hard again to hold thoughts, patterns in your brain when you're turning your head gently from side to side. Your whole perspective alters. Once more from side to side. And then coming back to the centre, and just bring the fingertips to the collarbones. And begin to gently circle the arms bent, circling the elbows, bringing the elbows forward. They might touch, that might be too much for your shoulders. Depends how much you want to open up. So the shoulders connect in a way to the neck as well, but everything's connected. And then when you're ready, just begin to alter that by lifting the elbows up and back, so you're circling in the opposite direction. And then make the next one the last one, and then just release the hands back down again. Lift and roll the shoulders, and take your right arm, bring it across your body, and then your left hand just literally traces all the way down from the right shoulder down to hold perhaps the forearm, just opening out here. And then just release, lift and roll the shoulders. And then bring the left arm across the body and use your hand by the back or front just to trace along and just open up here. And then just release. And lift and roll your shoulders. So this is also neck movement. Very, very gentle, very measured movements. Breathing in, lift the chin up. With control, breathing out, the chin goes forward towards the chest. Breathing in, come back to the centre, and as you breathe out, turn the head to the left, a little bit or a lot, up to you. Bring the head back to the centre, and breathing out, turn the head to the right, and come to the centre. And again, lift the chin. Your eyes can optionally look up towards the eyebrows. Again, this becomes a mindfulness exercise, chin to chest. Breathing in, come back to the centre, and breathing out, turn the head to the left. Come to the centre, and breathing out, turn the head to the right. Come to the centre, and just again, chin up. Look up if that works, if not, keep your eyes closed. Breathing out, chin to chest. Come back to the centre of the head, and breathing out, turn to the left. Come to the centre, and breathing out, turn to the right. Come back to the centre. And again, chin up. This becomes a mindfulness practice. It is a metabolic rebalance, chin to chest. as you're moving left to right through the thyroid, parathyroid, up and down near the pituitary, turn to the left, come to the centre and turn to the right. And come to the centre and then lift and roll the shoulders. Breathing in, raise the hands above head, clasp and reverse. And let's just test our balance by lifting the heels. I'm not guaranteed to be very good at this, I'm not. And then breathing out, when you're ready, bring the heels back down. Lower the hands and just soften the knees. You'll feel your abdominal muscles engage. And then breathing in, come back to the centre. Lift and roll the shoulders. And then this is optional. We're going to come to kneeling, but there is an option to come to kneeling via downward dog, which you might decide you don't want to take. So sliding your hands down, either come to kneeling, or you can walk your hands out to downward dog. Bending one knee and then bending the other knee. And then straightening both legs, tummy in. And then bend both knees and come to kneeling. So tabletop position. Just start by swaying the bottom from side to side. And you might include looking over your shoulder. As you sway one way, you might look over the opposite shoulder. And then coming to the centre, and classic cat-cow, so dipping your back, either looking up or along the mat, and breathing out around your chin comes to chest. So you're moving through the spine, breathing in, dipping the back, breathing out, rounding the back, chin to chest. And you can repeat this a couple of times to your own breath pattern. If you want to have a focus on the core, rounding chin to chest, the next time you breathe in and dip your back, stay here and just dip, micro bend your elbows. And you'll feel, and then bring them back again, feel that extra pull on your lower abdominal muscles, and then rounding chin to chest. And again, as you dip your back, you might want to micro bend your elbows and then straighten them. Feel the abdominal muscles engage, and then rounding chin to chest. And then slide the left knee forward and extend the right leg back. And just rock to and fro, stretching out onto your toes. So again, this is an easy way to get into the joints, the toe joints. Stretching out the back of the leg. And then just lowering the knee to the ground. Bringing the right knee slightly forward and sliding the left toes back. Just coming forwards and backwards. And then sliding the left knee down. The knees are now balanced. And taking, this is all a shoulder exercise, take your right arm and bring it palm upwards through and behind your left hand. Bottoms up in the air, and you can come to just connect your head to the ground optionally and your shoulder to the ground. You might like to move your left hand further away from you, just to stretch out the right shoulder. Just find that sweet spot, which might mean moving your left arm. Might mean pressing down on your left hand, which will roll you to the outer edge of your right shoulder. And then tummy in, to press your left hand down and to slide your right arm coming back to tabletop position. Just rocking from side to side with your bottom. And then sliding your left hand palm up behind your right arm, bottom up, coming to the side of your left head, and your left shoulder might or might not connect to the ground. Your right hand might like to extend out and up to the right, and you're stretching out on the left side, the left shoulder now. And then very gently, tummy comes in, engage your perineum, press your right hand down, and then just slide out. And again, dipping your back, cat, cow, rounding chin to chest. And a couple more times. In your own breath pattern. And then just an experiment, you can always alter the weight on your wrists by bringing your bottom slightly back towards your heels, and that will alleviate any weight on your wrists if that's something that bothers you. Just turn both hands out to the side, so like 10 to 2. And then quarter past the hour, quarter to the hour, and then 20 past the hour. That might be getting a bit tricky, 22 the hour. Remember, if that's too much on your wrists, bring your weight back. And then just bring your wrists round so that your fingers are pointed, and then just turn your wrists inwards so that the fingers are facing one another. And then a little bit more. And then release. Come to slide your bottom to the side, and then come to sit down with your legs out in front of you. And as we move the wrists, and you might feel a little bit stiff in the wrists, just roll the wrists together in one direction and roll the wrists in the other direction, and just shake the hands out. And then just hands to connect to the mat, toes up and toes away, just a couple of times in your own breath pattern. And you can stretch your toes out if you'd like, or just whatever works for you. And then begin to circle the ankles in one direction. Again, we're looking at the joints here. You get so stiff this time of year. And then very gently circle the ankles in the opposite direction. And then just bang the big toes together, big toe joints together, setting up that vibration, movement and stagnation. And then this time, a nod to the knees, but we're just going to bounce our legs. And then just massage the knee joint at the top, underneath. The whole knee joint is a mama point in our Ayurveda, so it benefits from just being massaged. And then just rub your hips, rub your legs. Pat your legs if you need to, rub the tops of your feet. And then lift and roll your shoulders. And cross your left leg over your ankle, over your right ankle. Hands to either side of you. And then raise your right arm, tummy in, and bring your right arm across the body to the outer left thigh, left hand behind you. Breathing in, lengthen the body, and breathing out, turn to the left. Breathing in, lengthen the body, and breathing out, turning to the left. Just enjoy staying here. And then when you're ready, very gently come back to the centre. Take your left ankle off your right. Just slide your hands forward feel that you're leading with your chest, and then relax forwards. In a simple forward bend. You can hold your shins. Again, calm into the nervous system. So the difference between anxiety and uplifting and depression in Ayurveda is anxiety is just a panic about being late in the traffic, and depression is much more long-lasting. So to calm the nervous system down for the anxiety, it's coming forward. And then sliding the hands up, hands to either side. I think it's right over the left ankle, crossing over. Lift the left hand up and breathing out. Bring the left hand across the body to the outer right thigh, right hand behind you. Either hand on the ground or to the fingertips, that will depend on your arm length, and breathing out, turn to look over your right shoulder. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in. And then when you're ready, very gently come back to the centre, unravel your legs. And then once more slide your hands down, leading with the chest, and then just relax forwards. It's a very gentle compensation for the twists that we've made. And then very gently just bend your knees and just hug. You can have your knees wider, your feet wider. Just come forward, hugging inwards. If then you've got a bad back and you're in a seated position, you can always bring one foot onto the chair and have one foot out, and just hug one knee at a time. Or you don't even have to have one foot on the chair, you can have one foot on the floor still, and just hug one knee at a time. That alleviates the back, or just come forward with your hands on your elbows on your knees. Really releasing for the lower back. Just hug it the other side if you want to do that. And then just hold your shins. We're going to come to Baddha Konasana, so I don't know if you've got any requests, Sue, for a body focus, any part of the body that needs, given that the feet reflect our whole body. The brain is the head, the brain is the big toe, isn't it? So any part
top of the big toe. Yeah.
Top of the big toe, any part of the brain you want to annihilate.
Yeah, exactly. No requests?
Yeah, well, I have damaged a tendon, so that's still at an acute stage. So I don't think massaging there is going to be.
Well, it's probably not if it's swollen. No.
It's
Best to leave it really. It's yeah. Any bits you want to?
Oh, well, bits. Just a rejuvenator. Just I think the solar plexus is that makes us feel less. I mean, that's sort of tied up with anxiety and everything. So that solar plexus is below the balls of the feet in the middle. So you've got one ball of the foot and the other, and it's where it sort of meets in the middle and before it goes down to the soft bit. Okay. So if you show on your just down, yes, it's there. Yes, it's in between. That's it. Where it goes sort of soft, and if you just press around. You can actually, if you press quite hard, you can feel like almost like a hardish bit underneath, which is actually the reflex point, which if you're not feeling great, sometimes that can hurt a bit and feel sore. So don't press it too hard. But it works on both feet. But that's quite
What's quite nice when before you go to bed, if you've got some cream on your feet and just sort of sit for a minute. It's hard to do both at the same time unless you're flexible, it hurts. But just, put cream all over and then just gently massage that bit of your foot. It can be quite relaxing. So that's where the solar plexus is, which is our feeling of when you get your feeling of anxiety and you feel it just here. That's sort of where that point is. Yeah.
Can it have a soporific effect? Or
Yes, but obviously alleviating any anxiety brings your body down, doesn't it, to a deeper level of, most people, if they're anxious, find it hard to go to sleep. So yes, it can do, yeah. But not too hard, because you can maybe just send it all a bit the other way. But haywire, just nice and gently. And that's the same on both feet.
if somebody could have an automatic machine that you put your feet in and just the massage do,
Yes.
very nice.
Nothing's as good as the human hand, unfortunately.
No, unfortunately you're right. And then a lot about immune system and detoxification, but they're different things, aren't they? I'm thinking about the ankles maybe.
Yes, the ankle bones and the area around those are the reflex points for your lower lymphatic system. So if you think where it is and where it is on your foot, upper lymphatic is down between your toes, and the lower one is round the ankle bone. So if you think about it, ankles get swollen when you've got some sort of lymphatic problem, so that ties in with that. So it's on the inside of your bones and also the outside, which is quite hard to do. Both together, you need to put your feet over really. But so just gently in little circles all around your ankle bones on each side helps your lymphatic system. Yeah.
So all very lovely. And this sitting in Baddha Konasana, which is band angle pose or cobbler's pose, it's sometimes called, is opening your lower groin anyway. Whether you're sitting, it doesn't matter how you're sitting, if your feet are way out or in.
Doing a double whammy there.
Yes. And bouncing your knees, as Sue's doing, is is distributing the energy. So in Kundalini Yoga, which is one style, they believe the energy accumulates and stagnates around the lower abdominal area, particularly around the base of the spine. And so this is like almost releasing the energy to go up the spine. And it's likened in Kundalini Yoga to releasing the serpent that coils around and the energy spirals upwards in philosophy, almost mythology as well, we've got that aspect. And then if you've had enough of that, just stretch your legs out in front of you and just bounce your legs, maybe rub them. And is that a dog? Yes. And then either sit cross-legged, or if you really don't like your knees bent up, then sit with your legs out in front of you and just lengthen the body and slide your left hand out to the left, bend your right elbow, just stretch along what I call the flank, chin to chest, tummy in, come to upright, and then slide your fingers to the right, to the other side, bend, chin to chest, bend your left elbow, and coming up. And then hands on your knees, just slightly come forward, and then just do a couple of seated cat-cows. Breathing in, holding your knees below your knees, lengthen the body, and breathing out, chin to chest. And then just coming to a seated position, however that works for you. You can hold your knees, hands down, hands up. You can have your left hand in your right palm, whatever works. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth. Calming the nervous system. In your own breath pattern, breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth. And just repeat that a few times. And you can carry on doing that, or if you want to focus, then there's lots of things you can do. But one of the things is to mentally say so as you breathe in, and hum as you breathe out. So as you breathe in, and hum as you breathe out. And another technique is, again, there are so many, is to, as you breathe in and breathe out, you count 1. And on your next breath, as you breathe out, you would count 2. And you can do that up to 9. Some traditions do it up to 10. And then some work backwards. It's all a way of breath work and calming the nervous system. We'll just stick with breathing in as we did through the nose and out through the mouth. And if you're finding that you're getting very distracted and for some reason counting's not working for you, you can try just bringing your hands to your heart, chin to the chest, and drop any counting at all. As you breathe in, you just open your fingers outwards, you're connecting to your heart. Breathing out, chin to chest. It's the element of air, the sense of touch, and connecting to the heart. In as you open, breathing out, chin to chest. So here the very movement is being dictated or being led by the breath. And counting almost becomes material if you're finding trouble in counting. So the hands and touch, healing hands as to connect to the heart, connect to our emotions. The chin to the chest connects into the vagus nerve, which is very implicated in anti-inflammatory response. Breathing in and breathing out. And then again, as you breathe in, breathe out, chin to chest. Just take a bow for yourself. And one other thing which can be helpful is just to think of one thing today that you might be grateful for. It can be tiny, it can be massive, just one little thing that you're grateful for. Let that thought go, and now take a bow for yourself. Have a very lovely day ahead.